share in the acknowledgement of the traditional owners and pay my respects to elders of all cultures, which seems particularly appropriate with this group today. Two things I'm going to talk about, and we visited two places. One was the wonderful feeder and other partnership project called Amenka Plus, which was actually looking at giving support to farmers in the beautiful part of Palestine that was growing amazing grapes, and also then we went and looked at where these grapes are being packaged by a group of women who hadn't had work before, and a feeder, which is the trade union group that looks after aid. I hope there's some feeder people in the room. If not, you can join upstairs. In terms of the process, they were working with local communities to ensure that farmers had support and also had access to markets, because one of the things that's happened is this is an extraordinarily fertile part of the world, but they've had their market access knocked off, so people are not being able to get the best out of their produce or have employment. And I'll get back to what's happened to that project later, but it was truly inspirational, and you could have been anywhere talking to a bunch of farmers, because it was talking about drought, it was talking about the weather, it was talking about produce, except there was a very big issue around access to water. The other areas we went to look at UNRWA, which is the amazing agency that was actually created in 1947, actually started in 1950, which was looking at the real issue of Palestinian refugees who had lost their homes through the wars that led to the creation of the State of Israel. The UN, as they gave support, as we'd heard, to the State of Israel, acknowledged the fact that we had refugees and then put into place a support service for them. When it started, there were about 750,000 people involved. Now it's over 50 million people, refugees who left their homes and their families. Australia is a donor to that group. I just want to mention before you ping me what's happening with both those projects. You would know that the feeder project, the funds have been frozen because of allegations of misuse of the funding, which are being investigated. There's absolutely no fact in this, but DFAT are doing the standard process of investigation. That project has been frozen. So the wonderful work that's happening there, they'll still be able to do some, but it's not got the focus to the future that we all saw and got excited about. And secondly, you would have known about UNRWA. The US have withdrawn their funding, who were the biggest single donor. Australia, it was a wonderful thing to hear Penny Wong and Bill Shorten announce earlier this week that the Australian contribution has been increased. But still, if you look at a graph, you can see the gap there. These two things about aid, which we saw at work in Palestine, as we should do, show that there's a strategic attack on funding for Palestinian programs in America, but also it's in Australia as well. We have seen forces of evil, and I use that quite real, from the opposition looking at cutting back funding on anything to do with Palestine. We can't let that happen. We'll keep fighting it, and going on that visit really made it very, very real. Thank you.